Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome on Planorama webcast. Today we are going live from the 2016 IFM trade show, and with me, Lionel Prouve. Thank you so much for being with us, Lionel Prouve. You are, it's very long, so I need to read it. The business partner and innovation manager, perfect store and mobility for Unilever. In a few words, what is Unilever?
So Unilever is a global company. We have a turnover of 53 billion euro, and we are pretty much present in every single country in the world. We make 58% of our turnover in D&E markets, and we're present in four main categories. So we're present in foods, in personal care, in refreshment, and in home care. So our mission is actually to, one of our key missions is to obviously to grow, but to decouple our growth from our environmental impact. And so we have something called the Unilever Sustainable Plan, which is our commitment to a plan to reducing our impact, and then we regularly report on that. And one of the interesting things that we found is that we can actually prove with the information that the brands that have incorporated that sustainability message in them are actually growing faster than the rest of our brands that haven't done so yet.
But talking about you, yourself,
yes,
as Lionel Prouve, are you Mr. Digital Transformation?
I have to say no, not at all. Actually, I would say that digital transformation is really the job of everybody in the company, and it comes from a very, very high level. So I would almost say that, you know, Mr. Digital Transformation in Unilever is our CEO. Already, he's pushing quite a lot. Our Chief Marketing Officer is also very much leading on these topics. And you find that in every single function, you have digital transformation at the core of a lot of things that are being done. So my particular role is to make that happen and to support the part of the business that I partner, which is basically field force in Europe.
So concretely, what
Yes.
does it mean? What is your work? What is your job?
So digital transformation it's everywhere. It's a trend. So it starts from things as simple as being able to book easily meeting rooms. We're encouraging virtual meetings. So we have things like Skype for Business. So we're trying to encourage not only between head offices to have people that join meeting remotely, from their laptops, but we're actually rolling that out as well on mobile devices. So you can do video calls from an iPad, etc. So there's a lot of things like this. It's about being able to have internal social networks within the company. So we have the equivalent of Facebook for companies called Chatter, where we encourage its use to kind of spread information.
That's awesome.
A lot of things like
wow.
this.
Amazing. What does the digital transformation means for your sales rep? Concretely.
So, concretely for the sales rep, it starts from something very basic, which is the device. So, even now in certain countries, but until very recently in lots of other countries, you had the rep going with their laptop, in the store, and now with the tablets, you don't have this issue anymore of doing my real job, in the store day to day, and then when I come at home in the evening, I have to key in all the information into a tablet. So it starts with that, but it's also having access to 3G, 4G connectivity, so being able to receive the information in kind of real-time basis. It's again, ability to use Chatter, its ability to share information, ability to have. So we're working a lot on usability of the application that they use in the stores. Things like being able to have digital catalogs, run video presentations, so that they can actually support the selling process once they're in store.
Today, you have two new tools. Let's talk about them. There's Plano Check. So I'm asking myself, there's a lot of no's because we're going live from this trade show. It's a solution that fits into your overall digital transformation.
Yep.
Can you tell us about it specifically?
Yes. So I think one of the driver of digital transformation, the kind of the key driver is, yes, it's agility, being more reactive, information sharing, etc. But you also have efficiency and cost savings, and I think we introduced Plano Check with the view of generating cost savings versus audits that we used to do. So we had to do audit for measuring our perfect store initiative, making sure that we were going in the right direction, getting all these lovely KPIs on shelf availability, new product deployment, share of shelf, etc. But with Plano Check, it's a tool that is much more efficient for us and has generated savings. So that's really the number one trigger of moving to Plano Check.
How about implementation?
So the implementation, which is again totally in the idea of this digital transformation, is that it's on the cloud. It's an application that you need a user account, but it's an app that you download from the Google Store, the Windows Store, or the Apple iStore. So there is really very little footprint and very little on our own internal system and deployment methodology. So it's very easy to get on any mobile device, and then we don't really have to do anything remotely. It's all cloud. Obviously, we talked about security earlier, so all of that was checked. It's all fine, and therefore it's very easy to deploy. So for us, that's another plus. We don't have all the period of packaging the application, installing servers, etc. It just really reduces our time to market in a way.
And can you please tell us a little bit more about the project management side?
Yeah, so the project management, again, right, what we're looking at is having something that can deviate a little bit or localize to some extent country by country, but that is very much a repeatable model. And so we're now live in, I think, 17 countries with Plano Check. And basically we have the first 3-4 markets where we had to kind of put in place a kind of a project management methodology. We at one stage we use a third party to support us doing that. But now we have a very repeatable model in terms of how a project is laid out. And so from the beginning of engaging with a new market to the time where they're operating as business as usual, it's basically 4 to 6 months. So again, it participates into that. How fast can you turn around a project?
But does it also mean that does it also mean that Plano Check is like an enabler in channeling like the right info to the right person at the right time?
Yeah. So that's the third point, right, of the digital transformation. It's about this information flow. And indeed, one of the things that we use, we don't only use it, I take the pictures and then it sends some data back to the head office and it's just an audit and that's it. It's actually getting the information then back, so getting the analysis back in the hand of the sales rep. So we use this instant report, which means that once you've done your audit, after a few minutes you actually receive the results of that. And then you are equipped with information for you to support your discussion with your contact in store. So that idea of the information flowing. The other thing as well is that the information that we get is to some extent is richer because we actually get pictures, etc. And that information can be shared to other departments in the company. So again, the key account manager can have access to that. Some of the categories can have access to that, and they can kind of leverage some of those pictures in their discussions. So
Awesome.
that's really
amazing.
what it's done for us.
What a gain of time. So how did you do before Plano Check? Was it possible?
So I guess each country has their own way of doing it, but a lot of the time we would use external auditors. They would do manual checks. We would have, and seems some country you actually see people coming with the kind of a rubber, like a
Like
a
back
linear
in the
meter
days.
and checking.
Yeah.
Like back in the days, but the days was only yesterday, wasn't? We were not talking 15 years ago.
I
You're
know,
actually
but it
talking,
goes so fast
still
with the digital
happens.
transformation,
Absolutely. So we were doing that. and then you would get some series of information and data back in the head office. But the reality is that the sales rep still needed that information. So the sales rep were doing their own check at the same time on the shelf. So with Plano Check, the idea is that you don't duplicate this work. You can actually get the information back to the sales rep, information back to the head office for your audit, and you just have one way of doing it as well.
Thank you so much, Lionel Prouve, for being with us today.
No problem, my pleasure.
For your nice answers. It was very interesting.
Thank you.
Stay tuned on the Planorama webcast. In an hour, you will have and you will see another interview, and you can also ask all your questions on the internet. Stay tuned. Thank you.